How weird. I just accidentally touched the back of the camera when I was turning it on, and this menu comes up on the front that says soft skin. And then it had these 3 pictures of girls with like different colorations. I have no idea what I just touched. I don't know if it's going to make my skin look soft or what. It's probably some kind of filter. Anyhow, God, I really need to learn this camera. Okay. God, I've been vlogging a lot. Oh, I've got guns. I mean, it wasn't just like a... The heck was that? I think that was part of my dessert. Part of my rice cake. Anyway. God, I'm a pig. Okay, so this is the 3rd vlog I've done tonight, and it is a little bit more serious one. And it has to do... I've talked about this before, and I want to talk about it some more tonight. It has to do with your little voice, and we've all got one. I'm going to use I language like they taught us to do back in the 1980s when pop psychology was so popular. I have learned to listen to the little voice in my head that tells me what I should be doing when I'm in a quandary, and I will weigh the evidence and the you know, the situation at hand and try to make the best decision possible. Yeah, you know, I do that. But sometimes my little voice is telling me to do something that's completely counterintuitive, that seemingly goes against the evidence that you know, that I'm weighing, and I go ahead and I do that thing that seems wrong, and I will often get a lot of flack from other invested parties if I'm making some decision that somehow affects them and it seems like the wrong thing to do. And time again I say the same thing. I have learned to listen to my little voice, and when my little voice tells me to do something, I do it. So it's getting easier and easier as I get older to hear that little voice. And that is apropos of this. I've got a friend who is facing a very difficult set of decisions that no matter which way she jumps, it's going to profoundly affect her life, regardless of what side she chooses in this quandary. It'll be something she'll have to live with for the rest of her life. So it's a very difficult place for her to be. And she's struggling, trying to figure out what is the right thing to do. It's one of those things that requires a certain effort on her part. She's going to have to actually do some stuff to resolve this issue. It's not one of those things where you just sit back and say, oh, well, what will be, will be. No, she has to like take some action in one way or the other. And, you know, it's driving her crazy. And it's something that doesn't just affect her. I mean, it's going to affect other people as well. So she's really up against it. And we've been talking about it. I mean, she's needed to bounce off of somebody else besides just family and her regular friends. Somebody who's maybe a little bit removed. So I'm a good person for that. So she shared a lot of stuff with me, and I have thought about it. And the best answer I can give her is stop, be still, and listen to your little voice. Now, the more that she talks to me, the more I can hear her little voice screaming at her. I know she's stopped to listen, but it seems like I can hear it telling her what to do, just in the way that she's relating her story and her issue and her, you know, this big decision-making deal. And so that's basically what I've reflected back to her. I'm not going to take a stand one way or the other. I'm not going to tell her you need to do this or you need to do that. But what I did tell her is this. You know what your little voice is telling you. It is obvious in everything that you've shared with me that you know what you're going to do. You just now need to stand up and do it. So listen and do what your heart tells you to do, what your voice tells you to do, your gut tells you to do, your angel tells you to do, your spirit guide tells you to do, whatever the thing is that has the voice for you, you know, follow that. And the other thing, and I forgot to tell her this, and she who's probably going to see this video. I hope she does. The other thing I forgot to say is this. The things we will regret when we are dying on our deathbed, and I've said this before, it's not the stuff that we tried and failed at. It's the stuff we didn't have the courage to try. Those are going to be our regrets. That is what we're going to mourn. And I don't mean stuff like, oh, well, I never tried jumping out of an airplane. Oh, gosh, I wish I'd done that. No, I mean the crossroads things, the decisions that could change everything, the stuff that fear held us back from that could have blossomed into something in our lives. The places where we weren't brave and we didn't have courage and we backed away from you know, soldiering on into what we instinctively knew was the right thing to do. Maybe because we were afraid of what others were going to say about us, how our parents were going to take it, what our, you know, our peer group was going to say, what our pastor was going to say, what the other girls in our group were going to say, whatever. It's those places that you have to really listen for that voice and do what it tells you to do. And it can be such a counterintuitive voice too. I mean, it can be so seemingly wrong at the time, but you have to remember, you will be stuck with those decisions. At some point you're going to have to face them. At some point you're going to revisit those decisions, and I guarantee that the stuff you tried and messed up, those are going to be the places that you feel so proud of. I'll give you an example for me, and this is the topic of another vlog, but I am a 2-time law school dropout. I was actually in law school and dropped out after about 6 months. It was online law school, so it kind of didn't count. And then later, I applied to our local law school here in town, and I was accepted and got very close to matriculation day, and my little voice was telling me, you really don't want to do this, you don't want to go to law school. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was born to go to law school. You know, I loved what I was doing before. I was doing really, really well. I really have a knack for it. What do you mean I shouldn't go? That makes no sense. But the closer I got, the more I listened, and the more I was like, nah, you know, you shouldn't do this. Well, counterintuitively, and much against what, you know, my friends and family were saying, I called those people up and I said, you know what, thanks but no thanks. And oh gosh, that was a hard thing to live with for a while. Well, now I realize why, and I'll talk about that later. But so anyway, yeah, listen to your voice. It is your safest source of counsel. So, on that semi-serious note, I will say good night, everybody, and I will talk to y'all later.